This is Cybert signing into General's Evolution on the map DEFCON 6 for another 3v3 in Gen Evo 0.3 as the brown China tank in the north. This is Crisis. The second player on the northern team as the yellow Vanilla USA. This is CheeseButterfly, which I will admit is a pretty funny name. Some of these guys in Gen Evo have some real goofball names that I very much enjoy. Meanwhile, as the fresh mint green, as the China nuke, this might be troublesome. We'll see how he does. This is Khay. I know some of you guys have seen some truly explosive China nuke play. And before you get that stabilizing isotope upgrade, things can be quite dangerous. Meanwhile, as USA Laser, this, on the south side, is pwninguallnite. He is going to be, hopefully, keeping the lights on to keep his army moving. As the GLA demo, this is Generalbirb. And as the China nuke, this is the one, the only, SpiritualMango. He did indeed quite literally change his name to SpiritualMango. He is no longer SpiritualMango, which I think meant fighting spirit or something. He left a comment in one of the previous games in the 2v2 series that he played. But yeah, apparently his name used to be like fighting spirit or something, and he, after hearing me say SpiritualMango, he was like, actually, Mango is a better name for me because I prefer, you know, goofing around and having fun to taking myself super seriously in Gen Evo. So he is actually SpiritualMango. It's no longer me just messing his name up. So there's a couple of gats here. They might get some free tank kills. Unfortunately for Crisis, all of his units were down on the low ground. Now he does have a gat cannon here, so he is going to be able to clean up both of those tanks. Actually, only one supply truck going down, so that actually worked out quite well. Two more gats do enter the base, but this is a bit of a mistake from SpiritualMango. He commits 6 gats, no, 4 gats and 2 nuke tanks to the attack. He might end up losing one of the nuke tanks. No, those are actually Khay's nuke tanks and not. Cyan and green on the minimap do look a bit similar. That minty green is quite similar. Humvee does go down. Laser Humvees poking and prodding, but not finding much damage on the low ground. Nuke tanks against nuke tanks. Nice avoidance by SpiritualMango. He comes down with 5 nuke tanks, so he has the clear advantage, but he doesn't want to get caught by that nuclear tank explosion. And by the way, it is kind of a weird split, but if you look on the minimap, you got 12 o'clock, you got, I don't know, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then way down at about 4 o'clock. So it is a top right versus bottom left split on the minimap. It's not quite north versus south, but I will be referring to them as north and south. So that is how I will be referring to these two teams. And if you guys have seen some of the other games on this map, you know that these hills can become quite a bit of a meat grinder, and basically most players have already garrisoned up or defensed up the top of that hill. It gives you a huge defender's advantage. Middle of the map is starting to get carved up, though, and it's entirely being taken, it looks like, by the southern half of the map. Khay is going to be finding a bit of damage against SpiritualMango. Reverse moves away very nicely, almost loses a couple of tanks there, very low on health, but does not actually lose them in that fight. SpiritualMango losing a couple of nuke tanks there, but well controlled by both players to not lose more than they needed. Humvee's going to start engaging these tanks. Rockets inside of them. One Humvee goes down, but the rocket troopers are going to be able to clean up a couple of more Scorpions before they themselves get eliminated. The flak tanks are here from the demo general. Those flak tanks, they look tough, but they really aren't that much stronger than flak tracks or than quad cannons in this particular game. A couple of missile defenders. I think they're going to have a hard time against all of these gats if the gats actually engage against them. One gat does go down. The other gats might go down to the laser defenses. Nice bait one missile defender, well, two missile defenders going to be claimed, but for the kill on 2 Gats. So a bit of a bait there. Crisis falling into the trap. Looks like he lost the last Gat. Where's your support, buddy? This is a 1v2 against Nuke Battlemasters. And I don't care what kind of units you've got against Humvee's Nuke Battlemasters. A 1v2 is a tough fight to hold. Generalbirb making some progress, but he cleans up a couple of tanks and then forces Kay away. The rest of his units getting carved up here, and it's going to be an unfortunate loss for the General. He takes down the propaganda tower at the same time. Inferno cannons making their way forward, and a nuke is on the way. Generalbirb gets cleaned up. SpiritualMango trying to start some kind of a second fight on the hill. A couple of arty strikes getting called out. We'll see where they land. It looks like one of them called in on SpiritualMango's supply trucks there. Second one called in the supply trucks of K. Gets one supply truck, misses the other. Looks like the EMP or the cluster bomb did not land. But yeah, one nuke already down to 4.5 minutes for SpiritualMango. That is a very fast nuke out in the game. That's like, he got that pretty darn quick. 4.5 minutes in the game or something when he finished construction. A-10 strike coming in. It looks like the northern side of the map has kind of calmed down. K comes down to the low ground. A lot of Inferno cannons, but he wants to keep the distance. He's going to be relying on CheeseButterfly to actually buy some time, but Inferno cannons all go down. K's entire army falls apart, and it looks like pwninguallnite comes in at the last moment. His Humvees showing up to clear out whoever was trying to expand into the middle of the map. And the 2 USA players going to be getting into it a little bit here with the Mammoth tank representing CheeseButterfly, and pwninguallnite sticking with those laser Humvees. A true USA player. He does have tanks, but he was just keeping them away from the front line. The team in the south, a distinct economic advantage and a distinct, well, not so distinct anymore, but super weapons advantage as CheeseButterfly and K both add on their own super weapons. Crisis comes down into the middle of the map. He and pwninguallnite have been kind of fighting like a 1v1 up in the north. Firestorm fires off. SpiritualMango going to be able to get a kill on a couple of these Gats. Doesn't lose a single one of his Inferno cannons, and that's actually good. No, what are you doing, bud? Oh, Generalbirb walks into the friendly fire there. And it looks like a couple of Gats will pay the price. Particle tanks on the north side. The defenses on the high ground can be quite difficult to overcome. Particle tanks are definitely one way to go. Defeating this artillery is going to be difficult for Crisis. He might need some help from his friends, but their ground units are so far away in the middle of the map. His laser tanks are going to be trading out against the Taskmasters. The Battlemaster Mark IIs, rather. MiG's going to be coming in. And those are nuclear MiGs. 2 particle cannons going down, maybe even 3. As in a single strike, K cuts in half the artillery firepower of pwninguallnite. On the other side of the map, it looks like it's a bit of a two-hander once again. It looks like Generalbirb is trying to start a fight with 2 players at once. Inferno cannons going down, and the Air Forces coming into play once again. K's army has been decimated on the low ground, but CheeseButterfly is still here to try and hold back Generalbirb. Nuke MiGs coming in. SpiritualMango striking back, finding the kills, and that is going to completely gut the reinforcements of K. Bombing comes through. Mine drop on the ramp on the hill there. Katusha is here on the Katusha? Yeah. Someone, I think, gave me the correct pronunciation, but I've already forgotten it. The command center that K built so long ago, under fire. Nuke MiGs coming through, killing dozers, killing off some of K's reinforcements. It looks like a nuke cannon also going down. 45 seconds on the clock for the particle cannon. So really, CheeseButterfly is looking to hold out until that particle cannon is ready. Meanwhile, another particle tank attack ramping up from pwninguallnite. MiGs coming in. Once again, the nuke MiGs find their mark, but the return fire as Kay cleans up some flak tanks. No, he doesn't actually get the kill on the flak tanks, but additional airfields. It look like 4 airfields from Kay have been established in the north. 10 seconds on the clock for CheeseButterfly. And finally, Crisis able to push back Pwningu, but with help from Kay. Giant army in the middle of the map. And the particle cannon is ready to go. Firing off in the south, catches 2 airfields, gets some MiGs as well on the deck. A bunch of MiGs, and right at the end gets the last MiG. SpiritualMango going to be losing a huge chunk of his Air Force. And that Air Force is extremely powerful. So to have that cut down is going to give some relief to our team in the north. Those nuke MiGs have been doing just massive damage. Time and time again, A-10 Warthog comes in, strikes a little bit, catches some of that army, but not enough. Generalbirb has a massive force in the middle of the map, but Defender's advantage is strong. I'm not sure if that was I think that was an Aurora coming in from CheeseButterfly. Flak tanks getting chipped away at. These defenses are so hard to crack with these low health GLA units. You really need the artillery, you really need the aircraft or a super weapon to break the front door. And speaking of super weapons, 0 seconds on the clock for SpiritualMango's nuke. The war of attrition fighting back and forth. Generalbirb taking some unnecessary losses perhaps, but once again, I think that's a fuel air bomb, comes in. I guess he doesn't have the fuel air bomb Auroras. He's just got the regular Auroras as he is vanilla USA. And those nuke MiGs, their shots look impressive, but they don't always do the damage that you want. SpiritualMango not able to keep alive those Katyushas. ECM's here to lock down the Overlord tanks. The nuke still has not fired off. Kay's nuke is starting to catch up in the timer with the nuke of SpiritualMango. The action in this game is just so chaotic. ECM's cleanups, way too many ECMs for a normal army. Couple of MiGs going to be going down once again. Crisis has managed to step outside of his base, but I don't think he's going to be able to step up onto the high ground. Too many particle tanks, too many laser defenses. Avengers, Crusaders, everything here, and streaming one by one into the base. These GAT tanks and these Battlemaster Mark IIs are just not going to have the numbers. Nuke cannon lands a shot. Cluster mine on top of the army. 10 seconds on the clock. 4K. Inferno cannons find the firestorm and push back SpiritualMango once again. It's going to be trading nukes from the 2 China superpowers in the south. 1 minute on the particle cannon. I can't believe we got 3 super weapons so quickly in this game. That scan comes in. 1 nuke finally fires off. SpiritualMango with the scan revealing his target. He gets the nuke cannon. He gets a couple of trucks as well, slowing the economy of K by just a bit. Although I don't know that 2 trucks this late in the game is that big of a deal. ECM's going to be leading the charge, but once again, it's a fight without support. Generalbirb and SpiritualMango just cannot get on the same page as K uses the nuke defensively and burns down the army of Generalbirb. It's a trade, a 1-for-1. The nukes deleting huge sections of each other's army. K may not be able to withstand the second wave. Defender's advantage might be falling apart here as CheeseButterfly is coming over to Crisis's base to help him hold the line. An intense fight in every corner of the map, it seems, as these flak tanks going to get eaten alive by the GATs, by the tanks of the northern team. Generalbirb has backed off. With the economic advantage in the middle of the map, the team in the south has not been able to break the team in the north. The particle cannon firing off, catches a war factory, catches a barracks, slowing down the production of SpiritualMango. But this might just be buying time. Honestly, we probably need a couple of more super weapons to really be able to break the other players quickly. Crisis making his way through the middle of the map. Not going to find much damage as Generalbirb has the defense that is strong enough to withstand a small attack like that. SpiritualMango comes back down into the middle of the map, takes down some laser tanks in a pass, but he loses a number of his MiGs, trying to cut down on these Scorpion tank numbers. The radiation that leaves behind does damage all of the units as they pass through. Sneak attack comes in as well. Generalbirb going to be attacking potentially from 2 angles at once. Will he finally break Crisis? At the same time, it looks like on the south side of the map, SpiritualMango is making some progress against Kay, trying to break into Kay's base, and finally Crisis has been broken. Generalbirb is in the base. It hasn't been a swift attack, but he has made it in. Overlord tanks into the south going for the War Factory, but they don't take it down. Kay survives the night. CheeseButterfly comes in with the reinforcements, and Generalbirb drops an EMP on his own unit, or Crisis drops an EMP on his own bases. Generalbirb must be stopped. Moab claims the airfield, claims the War Factory, claims the oil derricks as well. Propaganda Center is going to fall, and the damage has been done. Crisis has almost been taken out in the north, but he has a refuge in the south inside of Kay's base. He has got some production. He has got some infrastructure to keep himself online. pwninguallnite, his attack has fallen apart. Into the meat grinder go his laser crusaders as he is looking for that last bit of damage, but it's gonna be the carpet bomb which finishes off the defense and keeps Crisis safe for now. Wave 2 of the attack is ready. Cluster mine gets deployed by Kay. This will slow any attack by a little bit, but it won't necessarily be enough to stop it. Aurora comes through, gets tagged a little bit. Generalbirb is ready to go, round 32 or whatever, as the A-10 Warthog strike comes in. The deterrence is strong, but it's not going to be enough. It will buy some time as a second wave of reinforcements comes in from CheeseButterfly. The entire map has shifted up to the north as Generalbirb almost breaks Crisis, but he stands strong against the onslaught. And it really is just a meat grinder on this hill. Splitting up the bombs, Katusha's going down, and the reinforcements will once again save Crisis from falling apart. The artillery on the low ground is really the only thing that is left. Overlord tanks trying to make their way up the hill. ECMs and Overlords just getting eaten up by these base defenses. And by the time they get on top of the hill, they don't have much left in terms of health bars. Oh my gosh, the EMP and the nuke MiGs combined might finally be able to break open the front door. Only the Gat cannon remains. A couple of bunkers just north of this position. Another mine drop comes in. SpiritualMango trying to cut down the reinforcements that are defending this location. Auroras and nuke MiGs. Air Force truly is superior in Gen Evo. It is just an absolute chaotic cauldron of carnage. But more nukes are on the way. Particle cannon is fresh and ready to go on the south side of the map, finding the damage, and it's going to be against the particle cannon of his opponent. USA Laser building his own super weapons, but will he be able to keep them online? SpiritualMango now with 3 nukes, counting down his first one, almost ready to go. Man, these nuclear MiGs from Kay and SpiritualMango have just been so powerful, so consistent. Cloud is one player who really paved the way in Gen Evo to utilizing aircraft as like your most consistent damage output part of your army. Ooh, Rebel Surprise shows up. Generalbirb is going to be going for the sneak attack on the nuke, trying to stop Kay from firing it off, but it will land regardless. He gets the fight, and he loses the nuke in the process. He goes for the oil derricks and the power plants. A good strike nonetheless. The hit back, it's a 1-for-1 as the nukes strike on both sides of the map. The defense is crumbling. Khay has been broken, but will it be for the last time? Because his nuke MiGs still find their marks. ECM's deflecting the missiles. The north side of the map has gone quiet by comparison, and the Aurora's not quite gonna clean up. Well, the nuclear overlord does survive, but the ECM goes down. Reinforcements coming in, but without the ECM to block those rockets, the reinforcements take a bit of damage on the transfer in, and this nuke tank is gonna have a hard time escaping. SpiritualMango gets cleaned up in the main base of Khay. The reinforcements are almost all from the sky. Arty strikes firing off. Khay in the middle of the map getting trapped. A number of nuclear battle masters going to get eaten up by the forces of Generalbirb. It's going to be an Arty strike and a carpet bomb, or maybe, yeah, a carpet bomb comes in, cleans up a couple of trucks, cleans up. Massive firestorm lands. Cleans up a couple of trucks and then also cleans up a supply zone as well. Carpet bomb lands, but it's not enough to break the front door of Khay. The base defenses on the high ground are just way too powerful. Another Arty strike firing off as these nuke timers getting closer and closer to zero. Particle cannons are just not good when they're all clumped up together. Those nuke MiGs do so much damage. Fuel air bomb finds its mark, and once again, pwninguallnite gets pushed back away from the front line of Crisis, who has had to rebuild his main base so many times. Aurora's going to get pushed back away from the front line. Those GAT cannons are so good at pushing away aircraft. Khay makes his way into the middle of the map once again. Pure mayhem as this just turns into a graveyard time and time again. Every time some player gains a bit of an advantage, there's going to be support powers like an EMP landing on the army or a mine drop to take away the health of these Overlord tanks, as well as super weapons ready to go in mere moments. Less than 30 seconds on a couple of them. Another Arty strike firing off. The aircraft have been so unbelievably powerful. Even when they go down, they still tend to find their damage. I guess not those two. And there's just so many Arty strikes, carpet bombings, fuel air bombs, Moabs, all kinds of damage. Nuke is going to be firing off. It lands not in the north, but it's going to be the particle cannon finally from the laser general burning through those base defenses. And it looks like the nuke finds the airfields, trying to stop Khay's ability to strike back, Khay's ability to reinforce these armies. A-10 Warthog, will it find the war factory? Yes, it will. Slowing the production is important. Finally, Pwningu might be able to do it. Couple of nukes and couple of particle cannons to try and break his opponents. Fresh war factories getting deployed. 3 war factories at once. Nuke MiGs come in for another pass. The radiation, the damage over time, going to be burning down these units and corroding their treads. The defense has held once again. Crisis feels like he's getting closer and closer to the end of the line, but every time he barely manages to survive, oftentimes with the help of Khay's nuke MiGs. Khay and SpiritualMango, those nuke MiGs have just been invaluable. All players spreading out to the corners of the map as much as they can. More particle cannons coming online. CheeseButterfly and SpiritualMango, both with 3 super weapons apiece. Khay with 1, pwninguallnite with 1. Massive carpet bombing finding its mark. so many support powers. And oh no, Kay runs right into a massive field of mines. He literally clears all of the mines with just his units. He says, I don't even care about sweeping those mines safely. I'll just use my tank treads to grind through the mines. Oh my gosh, those nuclear MiGs. Regular MiGs with the Inferno. The Firestorm kicks up in the middle of the army. Once again, SpiritualMango gonna try and come down his hill. Step out onto the low ground. The middle of the map has been somewhat taken over by CheeseButterfly. A couple of Tomahawks are here. He's going to try and break that Gat Cannon, try and break this supply depot. Nuke mix coming in for both sides. Mammoth Tanks eats a couple of shots here, and Kay is going to be here to return fire. Crisis might be able to break up the hill. If he can crush pwninguallnite, he could potentially take over this area. At the very least, kill the oil derricks, kill all of the economy that is here, and stop pwninguallnite from coming back in this game. Carpet bombing coming in, or maybe a Moab will find its mark. No carpet bombing on the reinforcements. SpiritualMango, his front door hasn't been broken. His defense is holding for now. SpiritualMango might have to assist with his MiGs up in the north. Generalbirb is moving to deploy reinforcements, and it's going to be the returning laser weapons of pwninguallnite to defend his own main base. He has lost a significant portion of his supply drop zones, so his income is going to be cut down by quite a bit. Particle tanks getting mixed in here, and it looks like Crisis is going to be falling apart. SpiritualMango with 2 nukes ready to go. And the low power mode as everything goes offline. The danger of being the laser general. Generalbirb, the only one with reinforcements still running around. A couple of black markets also going to be going down. Big intel from all of this scouting as well. A-10 Warthog strike comes in. The front line is being tested. CheeseButterfly going to be moving on to the ramp of SpiritualMango, but there are nukes ready to go. 1 nuke landing on the right side of the map. Massive carpet bombing in the middle as well. And Kay has found some way to survive the consistent nukes of SpiritualMango. Supplies tunnel in the back door. Crisis is kind of ready for it. He takes down the tunnel, cuts off the reinforcements, and he's going to be dealing with this one wave of the attack. The bunker at the front hasn't been broken, but it's very close to going down. It will eventually fall to those missile defenders. Particle cannon finds the army. The reinforcements of Generalbirb run for the hills as the particle cannon of CheeseButterfly burns them down. And SpiritualMango has almost been broken, but how many times have we said that only for a player to be able to bounce back and keep up their production? Generalbirb comes in with the reinforcements, and just massive armies laid waste time and time and time again. This is definitely a blockbuster match, especially in the sense of you just sort of shut off your brain and enjoy the action. This is one of those maps that gets divided up into sections very quickly, and it is very hard to break out of those sections. Inferno cannons trying to help out one little Inferno cannon just against this massive army from Generalbirb. Generalbirb almost ready to use his own super weapon, and all of the tanks go boom as some kind of support power finds them on the low ground. The Inferno cannons or the MiGs doing the damage on the high ground, but it's not enough to break open pwninguallnite's front door. Generalbirb once again closing in on the location of Kay on the low ground, but he's tried this before and it hasn't worked out. Maybe he'll be able to break in this time. A couple of these flak tanks going fully heroic, but they will be donated away. So many super weapons firing off in the last minute. So many pools of radiation as well. Scudstorm finds the high ground. Generalbirb going to be able to crack open Crisis's base for the, fourth time. But will he actually be able to get any units over there to take them down? Kay is finally up to 3 nukes himself. He's slowly but surely been building up those nukes. The sneak attack from Generalbirb, the Rebel sneak attack, is definitely a good way to silence some of those super weapons. SpiritualMango, everyone still in the game, all 6 players. EMP lands on the high ground, but it just catches a couple of Patriot lasers. Wow, all right, Comanches coming out onto the field. Stealth Bomber as well. Carpet Bomb finds the War Factory, and the Comanches will, I guess, go for the oil derricks? Oh, no, they're going to go for the power plants. Going for the upgraded power plants, trying to shut down the army once again. Arty Strike getting called in. Laser Patriots going to be forcing these Comanches further and further into the corner. Civ structure gets taken by Generalbirb. That's surprise. That's sneak attack. Rebel surprise. Particle cannon burns through a couple of tanks. Oil derricks finally go down. CheeseButterfly and SpiritualMango fighting in the middle of the map. And these Comanches have found a weakness. They've slipped through under cover of the EMP, and they're doing some damage. Although pwninguallnite already took more damage than this earlier in the game, and he was able to bounce back from it. A couple more nukes, 45 seconds out or less. Particle cannon chasing down the tanks. When you can't kill your opponent's army with units, so you just use particle cannons and Comanches. A couple of these Comanches going fully heroic as well. 4 seconds until the next particle cannon. CheeseButterfly going to be looking to keep those Comanches alive. And if he can burn through all of the anti-air with his particle cannons, then he's going to be doing all right. Crisis is going to try and break up the front door. MiGs clean up every single Comanche. A massive shot lands as the particle cannon fires off as well. The army breaks up the front door. It's going to be a return fire carpet bombing, but it doesn't find its mark. Crisis has finally broken pwninguallnite's base. Reinforcements from Generalbirb are going to try and save it once again. Only a war factory, only an internet center from SpiritualMango remain. SpiritualMango lands another nuke on the base of Kay. That guy is radioactive until the year 3000 and late, because he is going to never not be radioactive. Down the hill goes the army of Crisis. He has cleared out pwninguallnite because it's daytime and it's not nighttime. SpiritualMango once again moving down from his high ground. The nukes look like they are returning fire. SpiritualMango getting caught by his own choke point. Carpet bombing lands as the particle cannon from pwninguallnite is still able to be effective. Oh my gosh, massive sneak attack comes in from Generalbirb. The splash damage on the defense just looking insane. Second army down the hill for Crisis. His breakout army of just mass battle masters coming through the low ground, and, well, low power mode on that super weapon. And Firestorm burns down the Scud launcher. And Kay losing a couple of his own nukes while Crisis does damage on the other side of the map. The noose is tightening, but the hills have not yet been broken. SpiritualMango still has triple nuke out on the map. One of them ready to go. War Factory gets cleaned up. Carpet bombing comes in as well. Fuel air bomb, actually. Gonna find the ECM. Not much more than that. You will not break up the hill, it seems. Even if you are here, SpiritualMango is going to be fighting this one out to the end. Generalbirb has handed everything over to SpiritualMango. One nuke gets eliminated. But SpiritualMango, he is going to try and fight this one out 1v3 if he has to. pwninguallnite still has 2 particle cannons, so that is actually, you know, significant. But the war of attrition has found its winner. Barracks almost going down just at the end there. This bunker at the front is like step 1 to being able to break a base, is taking down that bunker at the front. 8 seconds until the next particle cannon from CheeseButterfly. Gats are looking for the MiGs. The splash damage will eat away at these buildings, as well as the Gats. Carpet bombing on the internet center. It does survive the blast, but there's mammoth tanks here from the USA player. CheeseButterfly has been pretty consistent with those particle cannons, chewing away at tanks and buildings alike. And finally, it is enough. SpiritualMango is going to be the last one in the game for the team on the south. EMP locking down those internet centers, and it is all but over for the Mango. He has fought well, but ultimately this fruit is going to be sliced and diced. Even paratroopers coming in here. Not that they're going to be doing much of anything. And SpiritualMango, he believes in fighting out to the last man and rocket. Khay coming back online with a couple of nukes. By the way, big thanks to the folks who support the channel over on Patreon, such as OzMedia, Mediastorm, Deadly Shadow, Anoxic, Freddie I, and Spud, as well as others like Milos M, K. Rao, Jesse, Nikola Tesla, Mark, Savage Regime, Haron H. Big thanks to all the folks who support the channel. Always appreciated, never obligated. And big thanks to the guys who make Gen Evo. Big thanks to the guys who make Gen Evo, 2 of the lead developers over there. Gunship Mark II? I always forget the Mark number. But Gunship and Segoro, the 2 lead guys behind Gen Evo. I think they have some help from some other folks as well. Another nuke lands. SpiritualMango running out of buildings. But yeah, 2 of the lead guys over there. There may be some other folks who help them out with Gen Evo. So yeah, you can check out their Patreon at the link in the description. There we go. GG gets called. SpiritualMango, Generalbirb, and pwninguallnite. An amazing fight in terms of just the sheer number of explosions. But that one will go the way of the team in the north. Massive amount of super weapons used. I definitely missed a ton of them. But that will do it for this game. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is Cyber signing out.